Welcome back, squad. It's the all pizza team for 2025. Let's go. Like I said, squad, it's the all pizza team. We match up a player, we match up a pizza, we see how they fit. Let's rumble. Up first, we got Domino's. Domino's is pretty good. They're fairly consistent. They're not amazing, but I do like them. I know what I'm getting when I order Domino's. I feel good about it. Now, there is a little bit of risk baked into this because he's on a new team, but I'm going to say Domino's is Evan Ingram this year. Evan Ingram was 5th in average targets a game last season at tight end, and that was with Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones combo, which is just delightful. He got hurt a lot. He missed some games. I think he's going to bounce back in a fine way. He is getting a little older, so he's not amazing. He's not going to hit like Brock Bowers, Trey McBride numbers. But for his cost, I think what you're getting is fine. And with him being on a new team, Bo Nix is fun. He's going to look for his tight end more, I imagine. I hope. But I feel good taking Evan Ingram, anticipating where he's going. Would I take him over like a TJ Hawkinson? No, probably not. But because he is cheaper, he's probably going to sit in that like 6 to 10 range of tight ends. I feel good about taking him over like Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, those range of guys. So Evan Ingram, Domino's. Up next, we got Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut is high risk, high reward. If you know, you know. I was debating between two guys here. They're both running backs. And I think I'm going to go with the second guy. I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor here. Taylor's sitting around that like 10 to 15 range for running backs. I think it's a fairly reasonable spot for him, but I kind of see him as like a James Cook for last year. James Cook had 16 touchdowns last season as a running back in that Buffalo offense. I see Indy as kind of a poor man's Buffalo. You have Richardson who runs the ball. You have Josh Allen who runs the ball. I just don't think they're going to score as much as Buffalo. And that scares me a little bit. Now, Taylor finished 7th at running back in average fantasy points a game last season with 17.5. So he did good last season. But the fear, and this is the fear with James Cook as well, the highs are really high when he scores those 2 touchdown, 3 touchdown games. The lows are really low when he scores like 7 points. So am I against JT? Not necessarily, but he's not going to get in the end zone as much as like a standard running back at his price would be. But he could blow up because the Colts offense could shoot the moon and be the next Buffalo. Do I think that will happen? He could be like James Cook, where this Buffalo team scores 25, 30 points a game. Or he could be like the Colts, and they just, Colt it up. So high risk, high reward, Pizza Hut, Jonathan Taylor. Up next is Papa John's. I love Papa John's. Papa John's is my favorite, like fast food pizza. I also was between two guys here for this spot, and I am going to go with the easy one here and say Brock Bowers. Ooh, I'm telling you to draft the top tight end. Ooh, crazy. What an idea. I think he could do better than last year. One, he's got Geno Smith, who is just infinitely a better upgrade than whatever white dude combo they had last year. They had Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Is that even his name? It was rough. And he did great. He did great with the little that he had. He doesn't have a lot of competition that's been added. Not a ton. They added Genty, which I think is really actually good for him because they're going to run the ball. Obviously, they're going to get some carries with Genty, but the defenses will be afraid of him if Genty does well. You're not having Alexander Madison run the ball anymore. You're having the number 1 running back from college. It's a different game now. The Raiders also, in my mind, aren't very good, and they're in a tough division. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. I think Bowers could do better than he did last year. And I don't think that's crazy to think. Do I think other tight ends will step up too? Yes. Am I saying you exclusively have to take Bowers at tight end? No. But crazy enough, I think he could do even better than tight end 1 last season. That's just my thoughts. Could be wrong. I don't know. But I really like Brock Bowers' position this year, even more so than last year. Papa John's, Brock Bowers. Up next is Little Caesars. I don't like Little Caesars. It's cheap, but it feels nasty. So I'm going with a cheap, nasty guy. And I hope you don't take him because he moves like he has cement buried like internally in his stomach. and it's just like just trudging through a jungle. Like he's just hopping over like 2-foot fences every time he goes. It's Najee Harris. Now you say Najee Harris is only 27. He's not insanely old. He's on a new team. The Chargers are more fun, more exciting. They run the ball more. And that's all correct. That's all true. And the counterpoint is, have you seen him play football? He could be successful. He could. But I think we've seen so much of his game. It looks like he just has pounds of rainwater in his boots when he runs. It's so hard for me to draft him and then watch his games. If you draft him, I think you just turn the TV off and like go to church. Like you just disassociate. Like you just pretend it's not real. So I like to watch the people that I draft. That's crazy. Mostly so I can yell at them. But so if you want to yell, maybe you should draft Najee. It's just, I don't want to take him. I don't want to watch him. I like the Chargers. I think they're a fun team. But they drafted a running back who's going to be young and explosive. And they got Najee, who is nice, I'm sure. So I'm not taking him. He's currently sitting in that like 30s RB range right now. I think he'll go down a little bit, but I mean, there's a lot of guys I would take over him at that spot. Scadaboo's lower than him. I would take Scadaboo. Rashad White, I'd probably take over him. Brian Robinson Jr., I'd take over him. Travis Etienne, I'd take over him. Javonte Williams, I'd probably take over him. Ugh. Yeah. So that's Najee. Little Caesars. I feel sad. Let's move on. Last but probably least, well, comparable to Little Caesars in that it's a scam because I have to go and buy a $13 pizza and then take it home and bake it myself. Hello, it's just expensive frozen pizza. Papa Murphy's. What are we doing? Just go to the grocery store, save half the amount, or go to Papa John's and just spend $1 more and get a good quality cooked pizza that I don't have to use in my oven and bake my... Anyway, Papa Murphy's. I was between 3 people for this one. This one just feels like Old Faithful for me. Tight end Mark Andrews. Now, I actually think he could be better than last year because he's coming removed from that injury, which is crazy, but I still don't trust him. With Andrews, it's a little tricky because you're betting on him to beat these odds and beat the history, and I just can't do that. Like I said, he did have that injury, so you got to factor that in a little bit because it's definitely not nothing. That injury is important, and I don't want to just brush over that. And he averaged 4.1 targets a game last season. You know who averaged more targets than Mark Andrews last season? Noah Fant, Tyler Conklin, Kyle Pitts, Mike Gesicki. So I'm a little concerned. He had 1 game with 8 targets, and it was week 18. He had 13 games with 5 targets or less. I'm a little concerned. And he's going around tight end 10 range. He's going above guys like Jake Ferguson. He's going above Dallas Goedert. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You say, well, yeah, but it's the Ravens. They're a high-scoring team. He's on the field, at least. Wrong. He had a 61% average snap share last season. You know who's on the field more than him? Jawan Johnson, Michael Mayer. The Raiders' tight end 2 was on the field more than the Ravens' tight end 1, or like 1.5, depending on who you think is the 1. Isaiah Likely, his counterpart, was on the field 1% of the time less than him. 1%. Noah Fant was on the field more than him. Grant Calamari was on the field more than him. The Giants' rookie tight end Theo Johnson was on the field more than him. So I'm a little concerned. Yes, let's be optimistic. Let's give him some hope. Maybe he did well in the playoffs, right? Against the Chiefs, he had 2 catches for 15 yards. Hello? Just, you're betting on him to beat history. History can lose a season. They don't lose the war. So I'm not taking Mark Andrews. What was the pizza comparison? Papa Murphy's? Papa Murphy's. I like this one. Mark Andrews. Anyway, I'm kind of hungry now. I'm going to go get some pizza. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Excited for this season to start. I'm not getting Papa Murphy's or Little Caesars. I'm sorry. Peace out. Talk to you soon.